Good morning, my dear friends. Today we are going to see the firefighting system, different type of third party or organization approvals such as UL, FM, LPC, VDS, etc. and what are the different limitations or different conditions they have to approve the firefighting materials and lots of interesting technical questions. So let's start the video with a technical question which is related to our upcoming discussion. So what you see here is the pipes, fittings, sprinklers all are UL listed. Okay, and the sprinklers are standard response. It has the K factor 5.6, temperature rating 68 degrees Celsius. So all these things are approved as per the material submittal and proper documents we have. So coming to the installation, there is an issue in this installation. So this installation will affect the performance of the sprinkler. Okay, so the answer for this question I will explain later with the proper subject of NFPA. And the second question here is, if you see here, the firefighting pipes are coming from here and which is going down and it's going like this, and again it's going up because here there is a duct is passing, HVAC ducts are passing like this. So we cannot take the pipe straight away like this. So the arrangement is going down, again here going up. Okay, so firefighting pipes, as you know, it's a pressurized system. It's not a sewerage, it's not a rainwater pipe, it's not a gravity pipe. So we have pressurized system in the firefighting. So is this approval is acceptable? That's the question first. And secondly, if this is not approved, then what is the alternate arrangement you have to propose? And if you propose that alternate arrangement, how to calculate the water volume or something else? Okay, so let's discuss that one in the second thing with the proper backup. So coming to the third question, here we have the pipes, fittings and sprinklers. So all these materials are approved. We have proper material submittal approval also. So my question is, there is a issue in the installation. So you already find the answer, means don't forget to press the like. Okay, so coming to the topic, when you see most of the firefighting materials, you can see this type of listings like FM approved, UL listed, VDS or LPCB. So there will be different approvals will be there. So first you will see what NFPA is saying. So if you see here, NFPA, based on NFPA TATIM, the approved means acceptable to authority having jurisdiction. First, what is AHJ or authority having jurisdiction means? AHJ, an organization or office or individual. So they are responsible to enforce the requirement of a code. So if code has some requirement, means these authorities, the people or individual people, they are responsible to enforce the code. Okay, so code or standard, or they are responsible for approving equipment, materials and installation or a procedure. So these people are called as authority having jurisdiction. So different places, for example, if you see Qatar Civil Defense, UAE, Abu Dhabi Civil Defense, Dubai Civil Defense. So there are different places, different people are there. So they are responsible for this type of activities. So as per NFPA, approved means acceptable to the authority having jurisdiction. Okay, only AHJ has the authority to approve any material. So listed means that is different. So in the listed, if you see here, an organization, okay, organization of third party that is acceptable to the AHJ. Okay, that may be any organization, FM, UL, VDS, so LPCB, different organizations or third parties are there, that is acceptable to the AHJ. And what they will do, they will get the sample from the manufacturer, multiple samples, and they will do different type of inspection or test, and finally based on their requirement, and finally they will say that okay, so this product is okay and it is listed. So this is the difference between approved and listed. So my question here is, earlier in the earlier image you saw that FM approved, that image is there. So like like you see here, FM approved. So the definition of FM approved and as per NFPA approved, that both are different. So we will see what is that. So what you see here is the Qatar Civil Defense fire pumps basic requirement. So as per that, you can see there are multiple options. First, the fire pump assembly must be with the controller, QCD, that means Qatar Civil Defense approved, and after that there should be LPC certified, UL listed, or VDS or FM certified. So there are 4 different third party or organization listing is approved in the Qatar Civil Defense. So coming to UL, there are 4 different terms are there. First, UL certified. So as you see here, UL certified, UL listed, UL classified and UL recognized. Okay, so we will see these terms very quickly. So normally what happens, the manufacturer sends multiple samples to the UL for the testing. So after checking the representative sample of a product, when a product meets UL construction and performance requirement, then it is certified. So the term UL certified means it has multiple meanings. First, the term sometimes used as a general term. Okay, so general terms under this one there are two things. It may be either UL listed or UL recognized. So coming to UL listed, so this is the mostly you see in this firefighting product UL listed. So UL listed mark applies to the finished product. This is the important thing. So it is applied only to the finished product that is ready for the end user. For example, if you consider the just now we saw the butterfly valve, so that is a finished product. So if I get the butterfly valve, I can quickly install. Okay, so ready for the using. But butterfly valve has lots of internal components. It has like a nut, bolt, and different items are there. So this individual item I don't need to care, because I am talking about the final product, that is the UL listed one. Okay, so coming to the UL recognized, this mark applies only to the individual components. Okay, such as printed circuit board, that are the elements of mobiles. So in the mobile we can see the circuit board. So overall, if it is UL listed means the mobile will be UL listed, but in its internal components like circuit boards and this thing, so these are the individual components. So that will not be UL listed, that will be UL recognized. And finally, here is the answer for our first question. UL avoids the word approved. So you will never see a word like UL approved. Okay, it may be UL listed or UL recognized, but you will never approve anything like UL approved label. So that the reason is UL avoids the word approved as a way of indicating that it is really the manufacturer and installer responsibility to ensure safety, and that UL only acts as an auditor. So in this question, as I mentioned, the pipes, fittings, sprinklers, even the supports, everything is UL listed. Okay, but the problem is with the installation. So UL cannot do anything in respect to the installation. So it is the responsibility of the installer and manufacturer to make it happen. So in this image, the problem is, if you see the frame orientation, this is the frame, so you know that this is the frame. So the frame orientation, it is not parallel with the pipe. Okay, so the frame orientation is exactly not parallel with the pipe. It is in the opposite direction, okay, or the reverse direction. So this is not acceptable, first of all. So the correct installation in this sprinkler is, this sprinkler should be 90-degree rotated in the anti-clockwise. So that time it will become this frame, the frame it will become parallel to the branch line. Okay, so that is the approved one, and UL cannot do anything for this type of mistakes which is happening in the site. So as I mentioned here, NFPA 13 states that upright sprinklers shall be installed with the frame arms parallel to the branch line unless specially listed for other orientation. Okay, so why we are doing like this? We want to avoid the fingering effect. That means we need to decrease the shadow area that the sprinkler frame arms and the piping creates and the sprinkler spray pattern. That is the reason this installation is very important. And here I highlighted different type of UL listed, like fire sprinklers, including residential ESFR sprinkler system pipes, whether it is ferrous and non-ferrous, like metal pipe, thermoplastic like CPVC pipes, and underground pipes, fire alarm system, fire doors, fire pumps, indicating pressure gauges. So these are the things are under UL listed items. So again a question here. I manufacture a fire extinguisher with 10 kg CO2 portable hand carried type. Is that acceptable to have hand carried type instead of trolley? Because normally when the weight is high, we will choose the trolley type because we cannot lift that much heavy weight fire extinguisher. Okay, so the question here, what is the limit? So up to what limit we can use the hand carry type of fire extinguisher, and above what limit we need to go with the trolley? So that is the question. So as per rule, fire extinguisher with weight less than 25 kg is acceptable to have hand carried portable arrangement, and if it is more than 25 kg, then you have to go with the trolley option. Okay, so that is the answer for this question. So here is another question. Our customer wants rated flow for a specific point. For example, we have a building, there we have sprinklers and fire hose reel. So based on the hydraulic calculation, so that we will discuss in the future video very clearly, but still for time being you consider we have sprinklers and fire hose reel cabinet, and sprinklers the flow based on the hydraulic calculation 582 GPM, and I consider two residual fire hose cabinet, so I added 100 GPM, so total it is 682 GPM. So will that appear in the UL listing? Okay, this is for the fire pump. But so the answer for this one is, normally in the UL listing there is no specific rule like it will be 682 GPM or 742 GPM, 612 GPM like that. So they have the standard listing like you see here 25, 50, 100, 150. So you have to choose the next higher one. For example, here I have a 682 GPM means the next one is like 700 GPM, like here if you see here 750 GPM or 500 GPM. So our things fall between these two, and the next higher is a 750 GPM. So I need to go with the higher only. So there is no specific point in the UL listing. So another UL question. So normally in the site we receive the firefighting pumps like electric pump separately, diesel pump separately, then jockey pump or pressure maintenance pump separately. But there is another option. We can go with the skid type arrangement. So the question here is, do UL provide listing for assembled pump kit? So that's the question here. The answer is yes. Recently a new CCN and a standard UL 448D. The D means the new. The UL 448 means the old standard for the stationary pumps that was developed to evaluate the pump skid system are in accordance with the NFPA 20. So this is acceptable as per UL. So here we saw a word CCN. The CCN is nothing but is a category control number. So normally in the UL, if you want to see who are the approved manufacturer for the fire pumps under UL means, you can check the CCN number. So you can search like you can find a listed manufacturer for a specific product using the CCN number. CCN number means is nothing but there will be 4 alpha characters with or without a suffix number. So sometime there will be suffix number, sometime it will not be there. For example, if you see this fire extinguisher, for example dry chemical extinguisher GBAR, so there are only 4 alpha characters are there, and all these fire extinguisher comes without any suffix number. Okay. So finally the question is, who decides the approved material for the firefighting? So as we mentioned earlier also, the code officials like Qatar Civil Defense, Abu Dhabi Civil Defense, so they are deciding what is approved, but it takes the third party evaluation to make the product listed. So any third party like UL, FM, VDS, LPC, they have to test and list their product. After that the AHJ can approve this one. So NFPA 13 as mentioned here, valve components shall not be required to be individually listed. Okay, so a valve component has internal parts, gasket. So all these components no need to be listed separately. As a valve, as a final end product, it's like a single component, it should be listed. And equipment as permitted in table 7.3.1, that means if you go to this table, you can see lots of pipes material. So if it is already there in the NFPA, then there is no special need to be like a separately listed. Okay, shall not be required to be listed. But if it is not there in the table, then there is a requirement, it has to be listed. But non-metallic pipes and fitting included in table, this one shall be listed. Okay, even though it is there in the table 7.3.1.1, for example non-metallic means the CPVC pipes like this, even though it is there in the table, it has to be listed. Then material meeting the requirements of this one shall not be required to be listed. So I'll show you what is this one. So one of the important point here is, if you see here 17.1.6.2, if you use mild steel hanger rods and hangers formed from mild steel rods shall be permitted to be not listed. Okay, so if you use this material, there is no special requirement, it has to be listed. But the second thing is, if you go with other fastener, that shall be permitted, but it has to be tested and listed. Okay, and installed accordance with the listing requirements. Okay, so these are the additional points. So the next one is components that don't affect the system performance, no need listing. So we will see this one after seeing a question. The question here is, can we use the pipe hangers from plastic materials? Okay, normally what we see here is the non-plastic material like a non-ferrous material, ferrous material only. So can we make it from pipe hangers? So that is the question. So as per UL, it is not approved to use the pipe hangers from plastic material. But if you see the NFPA 17.1.7.2, non-ferrous components can be used if it is properly tested like a fire testing and it is properly listed. So as per the last comment, whatever which is not affecting the system performance, then there is no need to have the listing item. For example, here the warning signs the drain connection and pressure gauge don't need to be listed, but fire sprinklers should surely do, because it affects the performance of the system. And also the point is, it is important to note that the listed products stay listed only when properly installed. So we saw the example earlier, and also again you can see the question number 3, we have the same issue. So here again to question 3, like you see here, the pipes fitting sprinkler are well listed, but the problem is the sprinkler installation. Okay, so normally this is the upright sprinkler, but the installation is wrong. So here in table 6.1.1.1 from NFPA 13, different type of approved material, underground pipe material is given. So that is like ductile iron, then concrete, plastic, brass, copper, stainless steel, different things you can see here. When it comes to this polyethylene pipe, like you see here, from 4 inch to 63 inch for this underground pipe, then it has to follow this standard. Okay. So here the question is, based on my local civil defense regulation, I have to use HDPE polyethylene pipes ISO 4427 SDR 9. Okay, so SDR 9 is for the thickness. So pipes for the underground firefighting works, and as per UAE, as per Qatar Civil Defense, HDPE ISO 4427 SDR 11 minimum pressure rating should be there. Okay, so this PE standard is not covered in NFPA 13. So because NFPA 13, if you see here again, the standard is different. It is if you can see here this point C906. Okay, so this is based on American standard, but based on our Qatar and US Civil Defense, they are following ISO 4427. Okay, the standard is different. So the question is this allowed to use the underground pipe even if it is not listed in the NFPA? So the answer for this question is, these underground pipes, either it should be, we need to follow the standard as mentioned in this table. If it is not possible, then this pipe must be listed. Okay, this pipe must be listed by any third party. And the second thing, if it is listed, means it should be listed specially for as use part of the fire service main. Okay, this should be listed mainly as a fire service main. If you see the jockey pump or pressure maintenance pump we are using for the fire pumps, there is no requirement that jockey pump should be listed for fire service. Okay, that can be listed for the water supply also, and we can use that water supply pipe for the as a firefighting jockey pump or pressure maintenance pump. Okay, so there is the option, but here if you are not following these pipes from the above table, then it has to be listed, and listed means again it has to be listed only for the fire service main. And coming to the third point, the pressure rating should be minimum 10.3 bar or 150 psi for the underground pipe. So similar to the pipes, we have the fittings also same condition, like it can be cast iron, duct iron, and copper, bronze fitting, stainless steel. But thing is, like we have to choose the standard from here. Otherwise, it has to be listed. If it is listed, means that should be listed only for the firefighting purpose. So here is the list of different ASTM pipes: schedule 10, schedule 30, schedule 40. So mostly for the firefighting we use schedule 40 the thickness pipes, and there is a special term, I think you are not aware of this one, this word proprietary pipe. So proprietary pipe means any pipe design that is not referenced in NFPA, because some part of the world they are using different type of pipes, and if it is not mentioned in NFPA, means that is called as a proprietary pipe. Even that pipes are also acceptable as per UL listing, means they are eligible for the UL listing. Okay, so again they will perform some different type of testing, so that pipe is called as a proprietary pipes. And normally for the firefighting, as I mentioned, we are using ASTM schedule 40 pipes, and it can be threaded, or it can be welded, or it can be a grooved arrangement, and the pipe can be black steel or galvanized pipe. So next, coming to the above ground pipe. So as you know that mostly we are using this standard pipe ASTM A53. Also we can use ASTM A106 also, but ASTM A106 bit expensive compared with the ASTM A53. And as I mentioned here for the underground pipe also, the same condition is applied here also. Select types of steel, brass, and copper pipes don't require sprinkler system specific listing if they are made in accordance with this standard mentioned in this table. Okay, so if you are following this table, there is no special requirement to have the listed one. But if you are not, if you are taking the material from outside of this table, then surely it has to be listed. And coming to the listing, above ground metal pipes are listed either to UL 852 or in the case of steel pipe to FM1630. Okay, similarly for the thermoplastic pipes also we have the approval like including CPVC, we can go with UL1821 or to FM1635. And similarly like pipes, we have list of fittings also, we can choose the fittings from this table. Then coming to the joining method, as you know that for the lower sizes till 50 mm we are using the threaded one, and sizes exceeding 50 mm we are going with the grooved coupling. Okay, so the question here is there any requirement in NFPA stating that grooved coupling used in wet sprinkler system should have UL listing or not? So if you see this NFPA 13 7.5.3.1.1, there is an interesting thing here. One notable exception to this listing requirement is the grooved coupling. That means which must only be dimensionally compatible. Okay, so that is the condition. It should be only dimensionally compatible with the pipes, walls or fittings. However, listings are required when those couplings don't comply with the standard dimension. So they are talking about the dimension only. It should be dimensional. Dimension should comply with the pipes, fittings or walls. Finally, grooved coupling must always be listed when used with the dry pipe system. Okay, so only for the dry pipe system we have to have the listed one. For other item like wet system we don't need to have the listed grooved coupling. Okay, so the reason is due to reduced fire endurance and increased exposure to temperature extreme, grooved coupling serving dry pipe system tend to degrade faster than their counterpart wet pipe system. Okay, so this is the important thing. So as you know that sprinklers for the firefighting system must be listed because it affects the performance. But come to these accessories, the following fire sprinkler accessories also require listing. So here the you know this important plate here in the firefighting system. So this thing is excursion for recessed, flush or concealed sprinkler should be listed, and fire sprinkler cover plate that should be listed. So here the important point is, it's worth noting that metallic excursion don't require listings for non-recessed pendant or horizontal sidewall sprinklers, but all other type do. Okay, so only for these two type of sprinklers we don't need the plate to be listed. So the next one is the valve that let contractor test the system or drain the system, that no need to be listed. However, valve designed to control the water, so that must be listed. So here you know that the control valves like alarm check valve, dry pipe valve, pressure reducing valve, deluge valve, preaction valve. So these are the important valves should have the listing. Like then coming to the drain connection like inspection test point connection, so flushing connection. So these are the things we don't need to have the listing. And very starting time I asked this question, the firefighting pipes are pressure pipes, so we can bend can we bend the pipes up and down like this arrangement or not? So the answer for this question is, so the first thing is it is not acceptable to make a pipe up and down like this. And second thing, you might have seen this arrangement, auxiliary drain. So the purpose of this one is the auxiliary drain shall be provided where a change in piping direction prevents drainage of system. Okay, so normally if you make up and down, the water will be gathered in the particular space, and we cannot drain the water in the particular space. Okay, so that is the reason we are using this component like auxiliary drain. So anytime there is a chance of there is a change of direction in the pipe system, and there is a danger of water lingering in that area. So that is the reason the auxiliary drain helps to finish the job perfectly. And here if you see, there are two conditions we have. But the first one is for the wet pipe system and pre-action system in areas not subject to freezing. So in that case, if the trapped water in that particular up and down area is 50 gallon or higher, then we have to use the valve with 1 inch. That means you see here this type of arrangement, like we have a 2 inch by 12 inch nipple. So this is for the other system, but I am just telling for the example. So we will propose this type of arrangement with a different size of the valve. So here the first thing, like 50 gallon or higher, then we have to go with 1 inch. 5 to 50 gallon, then we have to go for the 3 by 4 inch, and less than 5 gallon, then we can go with the half inch. But if it is less than gallon, then we can avoid the auxiliary drain also. If the trapped piping is less than 5 gallon, then the auxiliary drain can be omitted if the trapped water can be drained by disconnecting a pendant sprinkler head. Okay, so if this is the case, like less than 5 gallon, we can omit the auxiliary drain. But the issue here is how to measure this water gallon limit, from where to where we have to measure. So that's the important thing here. So if you see this example, we have two options. We can measure the water trapped from here to here, or from here to all the way till this point. So there are two options we have to measure the trapped water. So here we are using firefighting pipes ASTM A53 grade B schedule 40 thickness, and pipe nominal size is 40 mm. You know that ASTM A53 means the nominal size means the inner dia and outer dia both will not be 40 mm. Okay, there will be slightly some changes will be there based on the schedule. So pipe when it comes to chilled water pipe sizing, I will explain this one very detailed. So this one pipe outer and inner dia, for the 40 mm nominal dia, the outer dia is 48.62 mm and the inner dia is 40.9 mm. So as I mentioned, both the outer and inner dia will not exactly match with the nominal size. Okay, so next is volume of water we need to know. So 3.14 into radius square into length in meter cube you will get the answer. For example, here 3.14 into the radius we need to know. So radius mean I consider the inner dia divided by 2 and the radius square in 1.6 I measured from this height plus this length and again this height. So the total we have to measure from this point to this point for the trapped water. So total it is 0.0021 meter cube. I convert this one to gallon. So as you see here, if the trapped water is less than 5 gallons, then we have to use the half-inch valve. Otherwise we can go with the second option. We can omit the accelerated drain because the amount is very low. So we can make it by disconnecting a pendant sprinkler head. Okay, so this is the way to measure the trapped water. And the second case is if you are going for the dry pipe and pre-action system, the axillary drains are located in areas subject to friction shall be accessible. This will be accessible first, and the trapped water is less than 5 gallon. Then the valves not smaller than half inch. Okay, so minimum half inch valves should be used. If the trapped water is more than 5 gallon, then two 1 inch valves should be used separately. So like you see here, we have to use the two 1 inch valve. This is one valve. First of all, the top side here one wall and here one wall. So we have to propose this type of arrangement. And second, if you have multiple arrangement like this, tie-in drains shall be provided for multiple adjacent trapped branch pipes. That should be with 1 inch. Okay, and the tie-in drains shall be pitched with, that means the slope. So for 1 meter there should be 4 mm slope. First of all, if you have multiple arrangement, you have to connect all this drain line with 25 mm line. Second thing, you have to provide 4 mm slope per meter. So next one is the FM approved. So FM approval, as you know, it's a branch of the FM Global Insurance Company. So it has again some set of rules. So if you follow that one, then your product will get FM approved. So again, this is not an approval according to NFPA definition, because we know that NFPA definition approval means different, as only the authority having jurisdiction can approve something. Okay, so this two approval word is similar, but the concept, as you know, is different. So thus, when you see either UL listed or FM approved, it essentially means it was tested by the safety organization for a specific application and it is listed. That's all. So similar to UL listed, here FM approved, here there are lots of components they are approving, like automatic and ESF fire sprinkler, plastic pipe, CPC pipes and fittings, foam, dry chemical, extinguisher, detectors, signaling device and lots of things like this. So mostly you see FM and UL, and here is the another thing like Intertek UK. So this is approving for thermoplastic pipe, gasket joints, alarm valves, fire pumps, controllers, foam fire extinguisher. So this is also famous in Europe and Middle East also. So another one is a CSA group testing and certification. Mostly they are for the fire pumps and electrical accessories. Also you can see control unit, cable and amplifier for fire alarm and protection system. So this is also again is famous in USA, not in the Middle East and the other region like. So the next one is LPC by BRE. BRE means Building Research Establishment from UK. So they have this organization, LPC, Loss Prevention Certification Board. So if you go to Qatar Civil Defense, they are approving the firefighting product from LPC. So in the LPC, mostly in the Asia Pacific, Middle East and Europe, they believe in this LPC approval, and it has a red book. Like you see here, Loss Prevention Council Board, they have a red book and it has some sets of rules. So mostly they have the rules like as you see here. LPC design guide is mostly concerned with these two items, design and construction of industrial and commercial buildings. And like this we have another thing like VDS. So this is also approved in Qatar. So VDS is the certification body from Germans, and they are in the field of like a fire alarm, open system, water extinguisher system, height and system, gas extinguisher, smoke detectors and fire extinguishers. So this is also one of the trustable organization in Qatar, and also most of the Europe countries they are approving the VDS approval. So finally, we saw different third party or organization and their limitation in the approvals like skid pumps and different items and underground above ground pipes and fittings. So I would like to finish this discussion with a question to you. So what you see here is different type of water based extinguisher. For example, you consider this wet chemical class K extinguisher. So this extinguisher manufacturer, I mean the UL listed manufacturer, we can see only in the USA. So other than USA, I saw one more approved UL listed manufacturer in the Greece. So other than these two, I couldn't find any approved manufacturer throughout the world, even Asia, Middle East, nothing. So when it comes to fire pumps, we can see different different manufacturer in Middle East, even China also. But when it comes to water based extinguisher, so what is the problem to get the approval for this water based extinguisher? So we can find only in the US. Other than this one, nothing is there. So this is the question. So when you get the approval for fire pump, why not you get the approval for the water based extinguisher? This is very simple item. Does you will have any special requirement to give the approval for this one? So if you know the answer for this one, please don't forget to add your comment in the comment section. So we'll see again in the next interesting video. Till then, bye bye, see you.